welcome to this very shortly scheduled live stream that I wanted to do after the patch 4 update to show the changes that were made in Resurrection Chamber. And I thought it'd also be nice to do a Q&A about Night Revels. So I'm not doing a new video for it this year because pretty much everything I did in last year's video is relevant today. There's been, some new things added, and we have, the new challenge of we have some new loot, which is nice. I'm actually wearing the new cosmetic armor. I don't have the new helm because I don't like to wear cosmetic helms, but probably most of you have seen it by now, but I don't think I have the old one to show you the comparison. I don't think I have it on me. I think I put it in the bank, but it's the same as the old one. It's just this one has like a red glow to it, which actually kind of looks like tomatoey orange. And the old one was like kind of sort of a bluish green, like a cyan. So I'm going to start with mentioning what the changes were that apply to Night Revels in the patch. And the patch notes for Update 36 Patch 4 are going to be linked in this live stream video description. So the parts specifically to Night Revels were that they said that some ingredients no longer incorrectly state that they expire at the end of 2016. And one change that's actually not specific to Night Revels, but they were hoping that it would have an impact in the kind of lag that we were seeing in the public Slayer area where we're key farming, is that they corrected an issue where some abilities were leaving detection objects in an instance that weren't decaying properly, and they're thinking that those are, I guess, were building up and persisting and maybe causing some lag because the public instances are never sort of resetting because people are staying in them 24 hours a day. So they're like these persistent objects were just building up and building up and building up, and they're thinking that was causing some lag. So hopefully we'll see less lag in this Slayer zone. I know there was at least one server crash, and definitely we've seen a lot of lag out here. So hopefully that will be an improvement. And then the next items are going to be specific to the Resurrection Chamber. Hey Foji, I'm going to answer that question in just a moment, and I think you'll be very happy. So Resurrection Chamber, rewards have been adjusted so that the challenge now grants all of the ingredients, and it's actually 15 of every one of them. So with the other challenges, with the 4 original ones, we get 23 of one type. 23 apples, or 23 cinnamons, or 23 caramels, or 23 almonds. And then last year when they had the 2 new ones, they did 9 of each. So Getting Ahead of Lord George Plaza and Hey Weird Foundry, they give 9 of each of those. So it was a better payoff, but they were a little bit longer. And this year we got the Resurrection Chamber, which was giving 30 black apples, which I think was a big mistake because it doesn't really make sense to have 2 that give black apples. So they changed it, a great change. So now it pays off every ingredient and 15 of every one of them. So that's a huge payout. That's 60 total ingredients for one run compared to like 23. So over double of the original ones. Now it is the longest challenge, so that's a factor as well. I'm going to get back to that. Other changes, so let's see. Something about named monsters, star objectives appearing before the monster appearing, and I guess that was causing some problems. A rest shrine was added at the bottom of the first shaft. They improved the waypoint teleportation to get into the room like where the giant skeleton is. I guess some people were having problems with like getting through that door, and I guess there could be a trap there which was killing people or something. And then let's see. Oh, they lowered the second chest that was off to the side, like on the blocks at the end. They made those blocks smaller. So now if you're like a gimpy cleric with no jump, you should be able to reach that second chest now. So 15 of every ingredient. That's huge. 60 total. So it really begs the question, like, what's your challenge, right? What are you going to do? Where are you going to spend your time farming? So, well, there's a few considerations. You know, if keys are not scarce for you, but time is, then you know, you may just want to do Hayweird. But if keys are scarce for you and you have plenty of time, well, then the Resurrection Chamber is probably going to be a better option for you. However, if your main focus is farming XP and you're just like, hey, I'm going to get some ingredients along the way too, which that's where I am. I'm trying to get a couple of epic pass lives out of this event. I'm just doing the old ones because those are real short. You know, I have enough keys to, you know, I'm building up enough keys to maybe do a dozen or so, maybe 15 runs a day, and I'm just doing the old ones because you could do those in about 3 minutes, and that's 37,000 regular XP a hit in 3 minutes, you know, about 3 minutes per, depending on how many people you have and what level you are, etc. And that's doing it on CR35. If you do it on a lower CR, you're going to get less XP. But you could still get full ingredients on a lower CR depending on your level. To get max ingredients, you need to do it at 5 levels over your level. So if you were like level 20, for example, you could do it on CR 25. You're going to get max ingredients, but you're not going to get max XP. You got to do it on CR 35 to get max XP. These challenges aren't hard. So like when I reincarnated this past time, I was doing CR 35s at level 20. It was definitely more challenging than when I was capped, but it's doable. You know, it's not like running an epic elite quest or a legendary elite quest or something like that, or a Reaper dungeon. So, what else? Let's start heading over to the dungeon, which is in the back of Delira's. Right, chill. You hate the regular cold chamber? Yeah, a lot of people do, man. I remember when I was a noob, just horror stories, man. But I love that quest now. And I'd rather run that blindfolded than, like, Let Sleeping Dust Lie. That's, like, I love the Veil, but I can't stand the Spider quest. Too many things go wrong, especially in Reaper mode. I don't even do that one anymore, because it amounts to an escort quest, you know, for part of it when you gotta protect Lycosa, and I've just seen, you know, big champions drop right on her and attack her right away, and I just don't want to spend all that point getting to that point in that quest, and then it fails due to basically bad luck. Infinitely DDO. How much farming would it take to get the full Red Reaper cosmetic helm and plate mail? That's a good question. I think you could get both of them probably in a couple of hours. Probably not more than 3 hours, depending on how quick you are if you were in a group. You know, maybe even faster than a couple hours if you were with a really fast group. Definitely faster than a couple hours. You know, with this one paying 15 of every ingredient, and I think it's 60 of every ingredient. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 60. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. I think it's 60 of every ingredient for the plate mail. Yeah, it's 60 of every for the plate mail and for the helm. So you're looking at a total, so it's 4 runs to get the plate mail, 4 more runs to get the helm, total of 8 runs. You know, I think you can get this one down to 10 minutes or less. So 80 minutes if you got good at this one. You know, I don't see any reason why this one shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes. So 8 runs at 15 minutes each is 2 hours. So that's a pretty reasonable amount of time to get both your plate mail and your helm. Cosmetic plate mail. Alright, let's jump in. I do want to show you, I'm only level 26 right now. I'm doing this on CR 35. I'm only level 26. I'm going to do this in Divine Crusader. You know, I normally run an Unyielding Sentinel, like when I'm running Reaper, but I don't need all that survivability in here. I'm looking for higher DPS so I can run these faster. Running Divine Crusader. Also want to say that when I'm farming keys, if I'm actively farming keys and I'm just parking it overnight or something, I like to run in Exalted Angel if I'm running around, because I like to do the wings. The wings let me move around the Slayer, the public Slayer zone really quickly. So this is my choice for key farming. But if I'm doing challenges, I do it in Divine Crusader. Oh yeah, I love Shroud too. I mean, that's probably the most beloved raid in the game for the community as a whole. I was very disappointed in Legendary Shroud though. Just because the built up for so many years, we always wanted Shroud to go epic. And we always dreamed of what that would be like, and I think we probably set ourselves up for failure because we just had these massive expectations out of our most beloved raid. So, but in any event, Legendary Shroud was a little bit of a letdown for me. I'm always let down when I have high expectations. So when it comes to Ravenloft, I'm trying to have 0 expectations, and I'm hoping that I'll be pleasantly surprised. Because I know if I get my hopes up, like I did the last 2 expansions, especially the last one, if I get my hopes up for Ravenloft, I'm just going to be let down, and I don't want that to happen again. So I'm trying to go in with 0 expectations, and then maybe everything will be a pleasant surprise. Okay, Divine Crusader. Oron. Let's do it. CR35. I loved, I did the video of this already, when it first came out. I love the theme of this. The theme is like all the undead or like past adventures that died in here. I think that's pretty funny. But this is a long one. It's definitely the longest challenge. It's a good looking one. Like the blood. Here, you don't have to kill the mobs around the outside. There are a lot, just like all the well, not all the challenges, but I guess the longer ones like Hayward and getting ahead of Lord's March Plaza. A lot of mobs you don't have to kill in here, so you don't have to kill the stuff around the outside. But if you do want to get your first star objective, you got to kill the undead in the temples. It says optional slay the undead in the temple. That's right here. This is the temple. And so you've got to, just like in Cold Chamber at the start, if you're going to do that optional, you've got to sit here and wait for stuff to spawn. Now, another optional star objective is to open up these mysterious packages. Boom. Now, there was a bug. I had only run this like 4, maybe 5 times before the patch, because it was just too long and I didn't like the payout. But there was a bug where you could like open the chest multiple times, and it seemed to like do the countdown. I'm not sure that it was actually giving you credit for purposes of star objective and XP, but in any event, that appears to have been fixed. So I'm gonna go around and open these packages. One of them seems to randomly give loot. I did this once right after the servers came up, and it took me, I think, 15 minutes. I wonder if it would make sense, like if you were with a group, to have like a person stay up here and do this part while everybody else kept going. That could probably save a lot. You could probably do it in, 5 minutes. If you did that. You like Legendary Shroud? That's cool. What I had personally imagined, and this is based on nothing, but just other than my own personal daydreaming, thinking, oh, what could, Epic Shroud be like? I always wanted them to bridge that gap between Shroud and Tower of Despair, because at some point between Shroud and Tower of Despair, Eritrikos, turns into it, turns friendly to you, he starts helping you. And I always thought maybe like they could add a 6th part, and that would be like Epic Shroud, the first 5 parts would be the same, and then they would add a 6th part where, like, at the end of Shroud, you would go through that portal there, and there would be another part, and it would sort of bridge that gap, that storyline between Shroud and Tower of Despair. That would be neat. I wish these mobs spawned as soon as the previous group died, but sometimes it seems like you gotta wait kind of long. Hey, alright, here's the boss, Cheney, which somebody commented on my previous video about this, that apparently that's named after the actor that played the original werewolf in the original werewolf movies. Don't quote me on that, but you can look it up yourself. Okay, so that objective is done, and we already opened up all the chests here, so we can go down, and you can take your feather fall off. Otherwise, you're going to be going down for a long time. So I guess that's a new shrine. Open your boxes. So you don't have to kill that stuff. This isn't Coal Chamber where you have to kill that stuff there to close the portal. You can just run by it. If it makes sense, you know, if you kite them into a group, open all your boxes. Utax Games asking, what class would you play on an Azemar because your 2 favorite classes have little to no synergy with Azemar? Well, it seems to me that Azemar is probably best designed for, like, favored souls, clerics, paladins, and monks. I'm actually doing my 3 Azemar lives right now on Ginger Spice, and, you know, that top tier ability, I forget what it's called, in the racial tree for Azemar is incompatible with druid forms, but I don't get, you know, elemental form until level 13, and I'm finding I can get that. Of course, this is starting with 6 racial action points because of all of my racial past lives, but I was able to pick up that top tier at level 9, and so I'm gonna run with that big stance from level 9 until I get elemental form at 13. So that'll be cool, but yeah, I don't think that... Is there anything back here? Oh yeah, I think there's a secret passage right here. I don't think that, you know, I would run Azemar for Druid permanently. It wouldn't really make sense, but, you know, maybe... I was trying to think, like, could it work? Like, could I maybe just change out of elemental form and switch to that Azemar form when I was, like, tanking a raid boss, like a high-end raid boss, so I can get the big bonuses to saves and especially hit points. But, you know, I really like the bonuses I get in elemental form, so probably wouldn't make sense. I think that, you know, going with my final life, you know, final life is always a loaded term, but I think my final life is going to end up being Dragonborn. So here, to save a lot of time, you want to get a high jump, and then that's going to take you pretty much to the top of the shaft. There are these floating little boosts. Here are some of them. Racha. Invincibility. Invisibility. That's interesting, because when I did this earlier, those were exactly the same. One of these are static. There we go. That was a high jump last time, too, so I think these are static. That third one's always high jump. Look. Woo! Hell yeah! And then and then we're just gonna go up to the next one, and then it gets like double shot. Ooh, there it is. I could have just jumped up to it because I had a high jump. Oh, I'm sorry, you are no go at the station. Jeez, oh Pete. I lost control. I got bounced off the side. Where is my jet? Here it is. Do I still have high jump? I don't. Because I spent too much time dick dancing around. Here we go. Red dungeon alert. If it ain't red, we ain't dead. And, oh no! Did I miss a package? Shit. You know, here I am gabbing on the live stream, not paying attention, so I must have ran by a box. Just didn't notice it. So I'm going to miss the star objective. I mentioned earlier that I did like a Night Revels tutorial where I give tips about how to run in the Slayer zone. And I also did all the other 6 challenges last year. And if you haven't seen that and you're interested in that, I will put a link in the video description for this live stream to that. That's bright. Alright, here I'm just going to switch to chain shape and just put it on auto attack because I'm lazy. And go for Xanadu here. And the chain shape will bounce off and hit everything else. And it looks like everything else is dead. Besides the archers hit me. I noticed that, and I remember reading this change, which is a bummer, that, what's it called? Empyrean magic is not building up stacks with the blast, but it does with the bursts, but not the shots. So that's kind of a bummer. So that's that. How long did it take me to do? I missed the star objective. 11 minutes. But, you know, I just ran by it because I wasn't paying attention. I think it was, I missed one when I went around the corner for that one in the secret passage. But I'm not sure. So 11 minutes. And you get, so okay, here it says I got 12 of each, but that's because I missed a star objective. You will get 15 of each. And so this is it's a really good farm. I don't see any reason why with a full group you couldn't get this significantly under 10 minutes. And like I said earlier, maybe a good idea is to have 1 or 2 people stay at the top and kill that stuff while everybody else moves on. Hell, maybe you could do this one in 5 minutes if you did it that way. I'm going to have to try that with my guildies, because that seems like that could be, you know, that could be awesome. Okay, guys, this is going to be a short and sweet one, so I'm going to, if there are any other questions about anything Night Revels, I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes and answer those questions. Let's see. Hey Josh, I'm glad. I knew there was going to be some people listening at work. Because it's, I started this at 5:30 on a weekday. People still at work, kind of an awkward time to do a live stream, but hey. Bolo Grub says, let's do it. That's my guildie right there. Yeah, I say let's do it. And I think we should do it right now. Let's get some guildies together, do it right now, maybe on the live stream. Let's see if we can make that happen. So I'm going to come over here and finish out. We'll do one more run on the live stream. Because I'm curious. Yep. Hey, Turtle. Dr. Grub. So, DJ Grub here, also known as Dr. Grub, is Bolo Grub, who's in the live chat right now. He's multitasking. Thanks, Jim. I'm glad you appreciate it. If you want to see how fast we can do this with just 3 of us, stick around. My other guildie LPR is going to join here in 1 minute. If there are any other questions about anything Night Revels, any of the challenges, farming keys, I did pick up, and we are live right now, guys, by the way. I've already had this live stream going for half an hour, but I thought I'm going to do a second run to see how fast we can do it. 15 of each. Yeah, I missed a chest in this last one because I wasn't paying attention, so I only got 12 of each. But yeah, 15 of each. 60 total ingredients. This is awesome.
One of them is in the hidden door.
I got that one. I think I missed one around the other way or something.
So apparently this is the new farm after you do your XP run.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad you said that. I want to mention that in the live stream. So earlier I mentioned, like, what's your challenge?
Like 7 keys, I did the math, is 105 instead of 40.
Which challenge do you want to do? You definitely want to do them all, because the first time XP in here is gigantic. It's like 130,000 if you get all your star objectives. 130,000 XP. It's like the best XP per minute for your first run. If you have a pot going, like 50% pot going, it's like 190,000 XP per challenge times 7. This is gigantic. And then you get 37,000 per run after that if you're doing on CR35 and you're getting max stars. Hey LPR, welcome buddy. We are live. We're going to start in a few minutes. I think Mama's going to switch to another tune. Turek's going to switch to another tune to join us, and Turek is Little Mama from the Reaper Life series, for those of you who watched that. We're going to need a volunteer to stay. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to get one person who's self-sufficient, who can do the killing this stuff in the temple optional, while everybody else keeps going. And I'm thinking if we do that, we might be able to get this to like under a 5-minute run. I'm not. Yeah, I mean it will. I'll lose some ingredients because you're 30 or some XP maybe, but I don't care. I mean, it's just one run for the live stream.
Hi, people at home.
Sierra in here is Turtle, which if you're on Sarlona, she basically like moderates help channel in Sarlona. I mean, I don't think the help channel is technically owned by anybody, but she's like the help channel queen. She's been in High Lords for a couple of years. Our precious little turtle. Joshua French asks, off topic, but how close are you to getting racial completionist? Well, on this tune, I haven't even started, but on Ginger, I am on life 19, which is of life 33 now. Of 30, because we had 30, but now with Azemar added, that's 33 lives for racial completionist. So I'm 19 of 33, and man, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get to a burnout point. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm burnt out of the game, I'm gonna walk away from the game. I'm just saying it's like it's getting to me. But Ginger Spice is my pride and joy. I love that tune, and I want to have, make her the best that I can. And so I got to get that racial completionist and all those extra racial action points from all those extra paths. That's so awesome, because I'm one to. I know some people don't spend any points in their racial trees, but I do. I spent a lot. 12 on this tune, and then like 17 on Ginger, plus or minus, depending on when I do my final life of Dragonborn, which is, like I said earlier, I'm tentatively planning on Dragonborn being Ginger Spice's final life. I'm going to want to spend like 25 points in that tree, so those extra 11 racial action points are going to be giant. And then if it's then I think I might even have some extra points left over to spend, and maybe some, like the Harper tree, like maybe about 4 points in the Harper tree, or maybe 4 extra points in my Druid tree. That'll be so cool. Yeah, Josh, you gotta, like, the more efficient way to do it is to go like 1 to 30, reincarnate back down to 20, go to 30 again, and then that second time you go from 20 to 30, do a different set of quests. Make sure you save a good amount of quests so you can get first time bonuses that second time. And some people actually do it a third time as well, and then reincarnate back down to to 20, and then 1 again, resetting everything. That's sort of hypothetically your more efficient way to do it, but that's not going to work for everybody, because maybe you are already a triple heroic completionist or something, for example. So it depends on what your needs are. Hey, Mama, we're all at the entrance to Resurrection Chamber. Come on out and we'll get started. We're in the 30 to 35. That's another tip, too, guys, that if you are doing challenges, with your guilds or friends or whatever, and you're finding you're getting a lot of lag trying to get into and out of these challenges, then go into the graveyard on like the level 1 to 5 instance if you're just doing challenges, because when you're going in and out of challenges in that low level zone, you won't see the lag that you do in the high, because everybody's in the high level and there's nobody in the low level, so really easy to get in and out on those low level instances of Delira's. You have 28 tunes on one account and gave my second to my son. You're a little complicated, Josh. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so the plan is, now that Mama's here, what we're going to do is we're going to try to see how fast we can do this. And to try to shave time, a significant chunk of time, we're going to have one self-sufficient person stay in the temple at the top to do that optional. So to kill all the undead in the temple at the top. And then that person will also be responsible for opening up the 4 chests. So, who wants to do that? Or we can have a couple people do it. We might as well have a couple people. There's no reason to have 4 people move ahead and only one person stay. So we need 2 people to stay in the temple to kill everything and to open the 4 boxes. Who wants to do that? Okay, LPR, I'm volunteering you, okay? Great. And then need 1 more. Yeah, well, you're going to have a Warlock with you. Okay, so LPR and DJ will stay at the top. Kill all that stuff, open the 4 boxes, and then you can proceed. Everybody else will just go straight past. In on 35. Alright, I'm just running and gunning. I'm going to be running past a lot of these mobs, so you know, we're going to see some dungeon alertage. Maybe I'll kill this big group at the bottom. Oh, I rolled a 1 on the dancing ball and I'm dancing. Well, this isn't working out very well. That's a good question, Infinitely DDO. It doesn't really make a lot of sense that the hamstring effect would affect me if I'm floating, but you know, it's just a video game. Maybe I'm psychologically hamstrung. Maybe I'm magically hamstrung.
Found one you missed.
Did I? I wonder where the hell I missed it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
turtle.
got it though.
So there's a high jump. It was in the same spot as before. Boom. Hell yeah. Oh, it did take me all the way to the top. I just didn't get over in time. That's okay. We're gonna take this one. I'm at the end, guys. Still, you guys are still working on
All the packages up top are been open.
What about the boss at the top?
Oh, still waiting on it.
Okay. Make sure I don't kill the boss here at the end
There he is.
until he's dead.
Do you want me to detour back and help you?
Nope, they got it.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Alright, he's done.
Awesome. You guys can continue towards the end if you want to get the end chest. My guildies did not ascend the shaft as fast as I did. Switching to chain shape for the boss, so I can barely see through all this rigmarole. Once everything that's mobile is dead, switching to focus blast now. And just putting on an auto attack, because like I said the first run, I'm lazy. This is something I do whenever I can get away with it against bosses or something. I just stick it on focus blast, turn on auto attack, and then start surfing. Start reading the forums or something, depending on how long it's going to take. Yeah, it's my Warlock Tank build. It's posted in the Warlock forums, the Voodoo Warlock Tank. Voodoo Warlock and Light Spirit Tank. 6 minutes, guys. And that was our first time trying to do it this way, so I think we can... I think you can probably get it real close to 5 minutes, if not less. So 6 minutes, 60 ingredients, that's fucking awesome. Now I only got 7 of each, even though we got all the stars, because I'm level 26 and there were 30s in the group. You want to stay within 3 levels of everybody in the group to get maximum ingredients. But I think I still got full XP. Oh no, it looks like I lost some XP too because of that. So you want to be within 3 levels. Everybody wants to be within 3 levels, otherwise you're going to get gimped on XP and ingredients. But for purposes of the live stream, we just wanted to see how fast we could do it. I didn't mind losing a few ingredients. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm gonna finish out and break a group.
For having me, I had dinner. So y'all have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, live streamers, last chance for questions. I'm gonna shut down the live stream in just a couple of minutes, but if there are any last minute questions, let me know. Thanks again, guys. So there you saw it. We just did it in 6 minutes, doing it that split method. Have somebody kill the stuff at the top of the temple, everybody else goes on. I bet you can do it faster. You know, once you get into a groove, that's a sweet farm. Like, this is going to be the go-to challenge, I think, now. Hey, Melissa. You are welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I might do the Azemar thing for a series. I'm not sure. Feeling a little unmotivated, you know. The Ravenloft rollout has taken the wind out of my sails a little bit. You know, I was really hoping for more out of that big package, and so I was a little bit bummed there. But Cordovan said today in his live stream that sales are good. So that's great. You know, if sales for Ravenloft are good, I'm very happy about that, because that's just going to increase the longevity of the game, provided that the content is decent, which is a big assumption, but I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and definitely will reserve judgment. You're welcome in, definitely, DDO. Thanks for tuning in. We'll run around for another minute killing some stuff. You know, like I said earlier, I like to be an exalted angel when I'm out here key farming. That way I can use the wings to get around faster. You know, I have the Misty Escape, But that's on a really long cooldown compared to the wings, which you can use just endlessly. So if you are playing a class that makes sense to be an Exalted Angel, then that's a great epic destiny to be in because of the wings for purposes of farming keys. Yeah, Melissa, you know, I was all set. I was really ready to go to buy the big pack. You know, I couldn't wait. And then, you know, I just see a lot of fluff that just, you know, most of it has no relevance to me. And, you know, the coolest thing to me was, you know, that action point tome. But I only play 2 characters, so it's really, I'm only benefiting on 2 characters, and that tome is going to be available, I guarantee you, in the DDO store a few months after they roll out, if not right away. And it's just 1 point, which is meaningful. Well, point is meaningful. But you know, I'm sure we're going to be able to get it other ways. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut down the live stream now. I'm going to monitor the chat, though, for about 5 more minutes. If there are any last-minute questions, I will, like I said, I'll monitor the chat, but I'm going to shut down the video now. Thanks for tuning in. It's fun to do a live stream. I don't do too many of them, so it's fun when I do them. And I'll see you guys soon.